Hey, I came to you guys today for some real talk because I'm having some shit go on and I wanted to put it out in the universe so I can get it off of my chest. Even if nobody watches this, it'll help me deal. So, uh, back in May 2nd, both things happened the same day. First things first, I went to an endocrinologist's office and he told me to go get more tests and stuff. And then the appointment later that day was to have all of my teeth taken out so I can get dentures because my teeth were in really bad shape because of the pills that I take and some other stuff. So these teeth gross, I know, sorry, are fake. So that's one thing. I've been dealing with that since May 2nd, and I had the process of having all my teeth ripped out of my head and getting like temporary dentures put in, which it's been pretty good. It's not been like too painful or anything like that. There have been like little bumps and scrapes, but my doctor is a really good doctor, so thank God for her. The only thing was the other day, they used to have a person in their group that did like the lab work, and that person is no longer in their facility. They're external, or it's another facility. It's just not within the same office. So everything is done. My teeth are healed. I have my now permanent set of teeth. They saw me last Wednesday. It's now Tuesday. They saw me last Wednesday. And when we scheduled it, they said, well, I'm sorry, our lab guy isn't in office anymore. We'll have to send them out, but we'll have them back for you by 4:30. It's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just take a day off of work. So I happen to have 2 days left off of work, so I was like, what the hell, I'll just take them both here together because my year of time starts again in like a month or two. So I took my 2 days off, and then I went to the office. They did the impressions and stuff. They were great. They fit them. They sent them out at like maybe 1 o'clock. They called and said, hey, we're having some weather issues, and if anybody is watching this, probably just me, if anybody is watching this in the future, right now we're going through like the whole like Texas tornado, I think was Harvey, or was that the next one coming? And Florida is right now going through Irma, but we are very far away from those two places. And if they were already planning to have these teeth back to me within a matter of hours anyway, then I can't imagine like they would be like, oh yes, let's put them in a plane, ship them to Florida so they can do it in Florida and then ship it back. Like, I can't imagine how weather would have anything to do with anything, because right now we're not having any, like, we had some rain that day, but nothing torrential. And so they said, well, we can't get them back today by 4:30, and the office closes at 5. Can you come in tomorrow morning? And I was like, yeah, okay. So luckily I took that extra day off. Woo! Hey, sorry about that. About an hour later, or I don't think it was even that long, about a half an hour later, they called me and said, hey, they're having these weather issues and they're not going to be able to get you back your teeth until tomorrow afternoon, like 3. I was like, okay, I have a doctor's appointment at 12:40, so that's great. Luckily it's at the place that I work, so nobody's going to be super, like, I'm not going to be too embarrassed because I already know these people pretty well. If it was anywhere else, I would have canceled it. But it was fine. It was a little weird and awkward, but it was fine. And then I went to the doctor's office afterwards, got my teeth. They're perfect. As you could tell, I had a hard time getting them out, and there's not even any glue. So that's great because I can even eat with them, whereas the temporaries were too loose and I couldn't eat with them without a lot of glue. So that's the teeth. That's pretty much done. I have to have like 1 or 2 like tiny tweaks, but that's fine. At the same time, same day, if you remember, I mentioned I went to my endocrinologist's office. I've had endo problems since I was 16, so it's been over a decade. And so I'm just restarting some pills that I used to be on. and I was going in to just, make sure, give me a supply of these pills if this is what I still need on. Let's do this as with, like, whatever, just like a routine kind of thing. Hadn't been to an endo in a while because my family doctor was doing it. We don't have a lot of endocrinologists in this area. And my family doctor was like, you really should be seeing an endo. Go back to your endocrinologist. And, if you just need pills or something, I can help you with that. So, same day, May 2nd, I went to my endo and I was describing to him like I was on these pills for a month and I was off for a month. I was like, I felt better off of the pills. I'm having all of these symptoms, like my legs are falling asleep, my skin is tingling, my heart is beating really rapidly, like I'm having all of these really bad things that I don't want to have. Like, should I be on these pills or not? So he's like, well, we'll do some testing and we'll decide and whatever. So I had my blood test done like a month later and he's like, yeah, you do need to be on the medication. So we're working on that, and then he said, your thyroid is enlarged, which if you don't know what the thyroid is, it's a gland that's right here. And he said, you should maybe have like an ultrasound. And I wanted to have the ultrasound first because it concerned me the most. And I thought the day that I was going in for blood testing, I thought that was the day I was supposed to be going in for the ultrasound, but that was apparently not the case. That was blood test, so I was like, okay, I'll just schedule my ultrasound. I scheduled my thyroid ultrasound, and I was reading up, as you shouldn't do, but always do, about what could be, like, why he could be sending me for a thyroid ultrasound, what makes your thyroid swollen, this, that, and the other thing, and the main answer I was getting was thyroid nodules and thyroid cancer, and I was like, okay, okay, that's peachy. So I go to the ultrasound, and the girl is like, oh, I have to check with the doctor on call if we can let you go. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. It's just great. So she goes, and I'm thinking, I have cancer. So as she leaves, I'm looking at the ultrasound screen because since I looked it up, I also looked up what thyroid cancer looks like on an ultrasound screen. And I was like, oh my god, I think I might have thyroid cancer. And I was like really scared and just like, all right, you can go. I was like, okay, maybe I don't, because I feel like they would tell you, they would be like, hey, or at least be like, you have to see your doctor tomorrow or something. So I asked when I could have the results, and she said your doctor should call you tomorrow with it. So I waited. This was a Tuesday morning. I waited. I didn't hear anything from them Tuesday, obviously. I didn't hear anything from them Wednesday. So I called them on Thursday, and I was like, hey, do you have my results? There was no answer. I had to leave a voicemail. I was like, hey, do you have my results? Can you please give me a call back? I'm really curious, and to myself, I'm thinking I'm really worried. So I don't hear back from them on Thursday. I don't hear back from them on Friday. I don't hear back from them on Monday. So I called them later on Monday at like 4 o'clock before the office closed. Didn't get a hold of anybody. I had to leave a message. I said, hey, I left you guys a message on Thursday. I would really like a call back. Didn't get a call back on Monday. Didn't get a call back on Tuesday. Finally got a call back Wednesday after the third call that I made. And they said, oh yeah, your ultrasound results are back in. You need to have a biopsy because you have thyroid nodules, which can be fine or they can be cancerous. So I was like, okay, great. When can we do that? And she's like, well, we have to talk to your insurance, and then we have to set it up through the hospital, and we have to do this, that, and the other thing, and we have to whatever. I was like, okay, when can I expect to have this appointment? And she was like, well, we'll call you. As you can probably tell by my results, my efforts to get my results, I didn't get a call back. I left a message. I didn't get a call back. I left a message. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to call the hospital I'm having this done and see if I can set it up myself. So I call the girl in like central diagnostic testing, scheduling or whatever. And she goes, well, I would be able to make this appointment for you, except for your doctor is having this biopsy done on 2 nodules because you have multiple nodules, and they want to get a varied test. And he only put the requested. And for one, we're also waiting back from our, I think, radiologist to see if it's okay to have this done. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck wouldn't it be okay to have this done? It's a testing that I need. It's a testing that you do. My insurance covers it. You accept my insurance. What's the holdup here? And also, why the fuck didn't my endocrinologist put both things in at the same time, seeing as they both needed to be done per his request? So I was upset, but I was like, okay, my fault wasn't with the hospital. Obviously, they had nothing to do with, like, things that I had been dealing with in my doctor's office, end of things. So, a couple more days went by. I called and I was like, hey, I'd really appreciate if we can get this done soon. I'm really worried. I just want to, like, have it scheduled so I can feel better, because, like, knowing will be the best thing, but scheduling, at least having it scheduled, will be better than not knowing and not doing anything. So eventually I got to schedule it, and it was about 2.5 to 3 weeks out, which it happens to be tomorrow, that I am doing the fine needle aspiration, it's called. And I've been pretty good up until now. Like, I've had like one or two little freakouts, as you would do if you think you might have cancer, and I'm a little bit nervous, but it'll be okay. But this last, like, week has been real tough, because I also had, like I said, I had an eye doctor's appointment, or I just said I had a doctor's appointment where I work, which happens to be an eye doctor. And during the appointment, my doctor found a freckle on my retina, on my macula. If you don't know what that means, it's like skin cancer, but in your eye, but it can be cancerous, or it cannot be cancerous like any other kind of, like, abnormal tissue. So for right now, it looks okay, but we have to monitor it because I could have eye cancer now. So it could be eye cancer plus thyroid cancer, plus I have at least benign brain cancer. Like, I'm so fucking sick. I'm so fucking sick of it. This week I was just ready to jump off a building. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Because, oh, there's one more thing. There's one more thing to add to that shit pile. I've just been so fucking, like, tired. Because you lose a little bit of the will to move if you're, like, having all these problems. But I've been keeping a pretty happy face and doing fine. It's whatever. I'll find out tomorrow, or probably not tomorrow. I'll probably find out in 2 weeks, because they're so bad at returning their fucking phone calls. But I'll at least have the testing done tomorrow. That's another step towards knowing whether or not I have to worry about this. And even if I don't have to worry about it now, I might have to worry about it in the future. And the other thing that has me, like, a little bit upset about it is because this has been since May. So my thyroid has been swollen, and my 2 lymph nodes aside of it have been swollen. And I'm just thinking, if it's also if it is malignant and it's in my lymph nodes, that is fucking trouble, because I don't know if you know anything about cancer in your lymph nodes, but if it gets in there, it can spread all across your body and end up anywhere, because your lymph nodes, they're like veins, they go all over the place. So instead of having, like, thyroid cancer and it's just here, it is also now this thing that goes all around your body. So I'm the most concerned about that, really. Like, everybody's that I haven't told a lot of people, but everybody that I'm telling is saying, oh, it's like the most curable cancer. Even if it is that, you'll be okay. And I'm like, okay, well, it's good to know, but I'm secretly thinking, yes, but what if it's also in my lymph nodes, because it feels they're swollen like my thyroid is, so what if it is in there? So I've been dealing with that, and I've been trying to deal with it pretty much on my own. I've told a couple of coworkers that I talk to, like, a lot, but I haven't even told my whole department. And my boss knows just by virtue of me having to ask off for the test. And one friend and my mom and dad just know that I need testing. They don't know the full extent of it, because I've been trying to keep it all in. because amongst the shit heap that has been like this year so far for me, my grandmother had a stroke and they were dealing with that when I was finding out that I might have cancer. So my grandmother is okay. She's gonna be fine, thank God. But it was like a really fucking tough 2-3 weeks where she was in the hospital and rehab, and then like at home, and she still has nurses coming to the home to monitor her, because obviously strokes can have lasting effects, and sometimes you don't notice them until like after whatever. So then, as I said, I had off Wednesday and Thursday to get my teeth. And I had that appointment on Thursday, and then everything was fine. I was gonna go back to work on Friday. I really like Fridays at work because I get to do a particular activity that I like to do when I'm at work. I usually only do it on a Friday, so that's why I took off only Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. And Thursday night at 9 o'clock, I was sitting and watching like something on YouTube, and I just had like this feeling that I had like heartburn or indigestion or something like right here in my sternum, which is very unusual because pretty much nothing gives me heartburn, indigestion, like acid reflux, upset stomach. I'm pretty good with most foods, like I can handle peppers and stuff. The only thing I've ever had a problem with is like if I eat rice too fast, it kind of feels like it gets stuck in here. You ever know that feeling of like it just kind of burns a little bit? So I was thinking, okay, maybe it is indigestion. And then I like leaned forward to like TMI, but girls, you know, if you have a period, sometimes you have to like hug into yourself for cramps. Well, I went to like lean down and like hug into myself to see like, I don't know, make myself feel better. And it got so much worse. And then I tried to lay down and it got so much worse. And then I couldn't breathe. Like, I could breathe, but it was really difficult. And so I had to sit up. I couldn't like lay down or be forward at all because the pain would get so much worse. So we went to like a urgent care patient first kind of thing. And I learned that I had viral pericarditis, which is the pericardium is the lining around your heart, and itis in any kind of medical definition means inflammation. So I had inflammation in the lining around my heart. So that was really fun, and I'm still on medication for that. It's mostly gone, thank God, but it's not fun, and it's also scary because you think you're having a heart attack. I also thought like maybe I was having a asthma attack because I had like run up and down the stairs several times. Like not too much earlier than that, like maybe an hour before that. So I thought, well, maybe it's just like I was supposed to have this reaction and then just me bending weird made it happen or something. So obviously it ended up not to be that. But that's my year in a nutshell so far. And I all started going to shit in February. January was fine. February I was hospitalized. And yeah, so that's how things are going on that end of my life. I guess I'll let you guys know if anything shitty comes of the test tomorrow, and I want to start making videos again, even if they're not great quality, because like honestly, this is just on a cell phone camera. I don't have a good computer, so I can't do any editing to them. I'd like to eventually get to that point because I find it fun, but that is the very least of my concerns right now. I tried to do a couple of like makeup videos because I like, not that you can fucking tell in this lighting because everything is all like weird and shadowy, so I look like a piece of shit. But I tried to do like a makeup video once or twice just to do like my makeup routine or whatever, and it just turned out too fucking long because I like to take my time when I do my makeup. So who knows? I don't know. But I just thought I'd update probably just my future self and see how things are doing. All right. Well, I hope you're doing better than I am. Have a good night.